Hi everybody, so it's time for me to create my final installment for my little series where I go over all of the tricks that I use in my when I do my speedruns, like what I did in my 1048 and all of the stuff that I think about. This is going to be the last little, I guess, installment of my series where I go in like really deep. So without any what's it saying? Without further ado, let's get started. So we left off on level 42. We're gonna meet Ice Cube here, but there's still a little bit that we have to do before we meet Ice Cube. So there's this cycle there's this platform that operates on a cycle, and we want to be able to get up there as fast as we can without having to wait again. Now, there are a few ways to do this. Like some are faster than others. Like the slowest way is you would like wait here, and then you'd throw a book up, and then you'd bring matchup like that. That's the slowest way to do it, because like you have to wait an entire cycle. So like if we can get someone up there onto this platform before we wait for the next cycle, that would be really good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw book up there with match like this, and then we're gonna bring book up here, and then we're gonna throw this box. Ideally that would land on the platform, and then we're gonna make match jump onto the box and over the spike. It's not an intended strat. It's actually a special strat, a different strat, but it works out completely fine. And that's what I tend to go to in my speedruns. I'll show you what that looks like again. So we're going to throw a book up like this. Then we're going to do this, and then go up like this. So let's look at some of the small stuff. At the very beginning, I've talked about this before in my previous installments of this series. But especially on a cycle like this though, or on a level like this though, with the cycle that's pretty tight and we have to make it as fast as we can, we don't want to start by switching to match and then picking book up like this. Because one, not only is it an extra input that we have to do right as soon as the level starts, and that's just extra timing that we have to deal with, that's kind of hard. But it's also a little bit slower than the other strategy, which is picking match up with book like this. And that saves a little bit of time, just saves time. It's just faster. So we go up like this. However, the issue here is that we don't want to throw match up because we can't get. Let me try that again. We can't get match under this gap. So when we pick match up like this, we have to switch to match and pick up book like this, and then we can throw book up. And strat's usually pretty forgiving as long as you get the inputs right. And you can do this pretty consistently. Timing isn't really an issue. So then when you get up here with book, when you jump up here with book, it's very important that when you pick up the box and you throw it over here, that you wait a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like if you don't wait. Okay, that was a fluke. What can happen though, and what should happen usually, is the box actually goes too far to the left. It doesn't actually land on this platform, and you end up losing the box, and you can't use it for match to jump over. Let me see if I can get that to happen, actually. Yeah, like this. See, it falls off. So what you want to do is you want to stall a little bit here, stall a little bit, and then throw it. And also, if the box lands further to the right on this platform, that's actually faster because you don't have to wait as long for match to jump over. I'll show that real quick. Come on. See, like, it's kind of far to the left, so I have to wait to jump over the spike. But if the box is kind of like on the right side, like this, then I don't have to wait as long, if that makes sense. However, you might notice that while we have to wait for the platform to move over after we throw the box, like you see it has to move over and then it comes back, we can do something during that time. We don't have to wait for that long because it's kind of a long wait. So what we can do is after we throw the box, we move book over here and then put Ice Cube up like that. And what I did there was I did a throw jump. I'll show you again. Throw, jump, catch, throw. Just like that. It's the most consistent way to get Ice Cube up there. I'll do that one more time. throw the box at the right time, throw, jump, catch, throw. Then we switch to match. Then we go up here. So when we're like this, by the way, we just threw Ice Cube up here, so we don't have to do it later. Just saves a little bit of time while we're stalling. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna throw Book up here, and then we're gonna jump up with match and catch with Book. Oh yeah, now that we have Ice Cube, we're gonna have to press Z twice if we're switching from match to Book. So we press Z twice, then we switch. Switch twice, then we pick up match. So next when we're here, I'm just gonna do this the safer standard strat, which looks like this. You just go up like this with Book, and then you switch to Ice Cube. You have to press Z twice. Then you jump up with Ice Cube like this. There's a faster strat that I think is done in the IL. Just do all of this again. Looks a little bit something like this. However, I feel like that's too inconsistent to do in a full speedrun, because even though it is faster to just do those stagger jumps like one after another, because it doesn't have to save time, like moving Book up, then Ice Cube, because you're moving all of them at one time. It's just too inconsistent, and like when you get to the top here, you oftentimes don't know what character you are unless you time your Z presses, which is why I don't do it. But I feel like eventually that might be a strat that gets included for this level. But that's really all there is to say here. Oh yeah, I probably should also address like the fastest strat, which is at the start. We're gonna do it like we do a grab boost to get them both up like this. This is done in ILs, and I'm kind of consistent at it, but not consistent enough for RTA, because like this thing at the beginning is really precise. You don't have a lot of frames to work with. But I feel like eventually that might be something to add. Jump up here, switch to Ice Cube, jump up, level 43 time. For level 43, normally you have to like throw the receiver over here and then die, and then do the same thing again and die, and then do the same thing again. Then you go up here and do all this sort of stuff. We can skip the entire level by stacking these up, making everyone go up like this, and just throwing them up. Doing these throw jumps. These throw jumps are kind of precise because you need a lot of vertical height. Remember, it's best. It's best to throw and then jump immediately after the throw. Then you want to kind of catch whatever you're throwing on the like as late as you can, and then throw it as early as you can. If that makes sense. So, catches late, throws early. So kind of like 2 up presses like right in a row at the end there. Like, that was too late. It's kind of like that, but better. Just like that. That way you get the most vertical height, and you're throwing them at the apex of your jump, which is exactly what you want. So let's focus on the start though. So at the very beginning, you start as Book. I like to pick up the crank part of the HPRC, throw it up like this, and I want to throw it so that it's kind of like this top level here of the crank part of the HPRC is something that Match can stand on without having to move left or right. Because like if Match just jumps, like you see, she can get up there. She doesn't have to move left or right or anything. She can just jump up. For example, if it was like here and I jumped Match out, or okay, let me try that again. If it was like really far to the right, I think that still might be good. If it was like really far to the right like that, like you see, Match can't just jump on it like that. I want to be over here, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a stagger jump to get up onto the top part of the HPRC like this. So we're gonna do this, then jump, go to the left like this. So like jump left, and then we're just gonna do this stagger jump. We're just buffering up and pressing Z, and that's how we stagger jump. And we're gonna press Z exactly 7 times. We're not gonna rush them too fast, because that would be like we'll miss some jumps. Like that was too fast. But 7 times, and that's because we end up as Match, which is exactly what we want to do these throw jumps. Throw jump with Book, throw jump with Ice Cube, and then we're gonna catch Match with Book. Oops. Oh yeah, you have to press Z twice for that. Press C twice, catch match with Book. And doing this all slowly is not too difficult, I would say, but doing it quickly is where it starts to be really hard. Because this is a pretty short level, and that was kind of bad. Just a few seconds is a huge difference. That's what it would kind of optimally look like. But yeah, there's really nothing else to say there. That's all the strats I really use. It's pretty simple. It just takes time to get to the point where you can do it quickly, consistently. But let's move on to level 44 now. Normally for level 44, you'd have to do something pretty lengthy. Like, you have to go through here first with match. Then everybody else has to, like, wait behind. And then we flick the switch. Then Book can come across. Then we flick this switch. And then Ice Cube can go over. Then we have to bring Book down, climb back up. That's what it would normally look like. And that is really slow. So the faster strat is we're going to try to cram somebody through this gate. Because if we take, like, Ice Cube and we try bringing her across, like, she melts so fast, like, there's no chance she's going to get across. If we bring Book across, like, even she can't make it across either, which is why we need to start with match and flick the conveyor at first, because match does not die in the heat panels. But we're going to try to cram Book through anyway. So once again, we're going to grab match at first like this, because that's a little bit faster than switching to match first. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to switch to match like this. And then the way to cram Book through this heat gate here is it's kind of precise. Like, obviously it's not going to be easy, as it's not how the game was intended to be played, but we can do it anyway. So I have a visual cue for this. So Book is going to be holding, or we're going to be holding right here. Match is going to be running straight at max speed, and we want to see when Match kind of aligns exactly between, like, outside of the heat panel and inside the heat panel. So, like, I'll just show that because Match doesn't die. Right about here, like, you see Match is kind of in the middle of this line here between the heat panel and the not heat panel, I guess. Okay. But we're gonna be, when we get to that spot, we're gonna jump. Right? Jump. Right there. Right at that spot. And then the next part is throwing Book at the right time so that she comes up here. And there's only like a 2 or 3 frame window to make this work. But there's a point where she will either bonk on the side of the spike here, which actually will not kill her. Like, she'll either bonk on that, which is pretty ballsy if you think about it, but, like, it works, so go for it. Or she'll come up a little bit to the right of the spike and just fly like normal. There's a very small window so that we don't kill her in the spikes or keep her in this heat panel too long. It's gonna close an ad, but it closed itself. And throwing Book at the right time is kind of hard. Like, that was good. Like, that worked fine. But honestly, I don't really have a cue for this. I just kind of, like, throw Book at the right time. Like, I'm pretty consistent at it right now. But you'll know if you throw Book too early if she dies in the spikes. And, like when Book dies and she does her little death animation, there'll be one where she just flickers and one where she flickers and she burns. So if she just flickers, she doesn't burn, that means she died in the spikes. And if she flickers and burns, that means she died in the heat panels. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm going to throw Book too early on purpose. See, when she flickered, there's no fire, which means she died on the spikes. And that one, Book died in a little fire, which means that she stayed in the heat panels for too long, which means I threw her too late. Well, I guess if you throw in the heat panel too early. I guess if you throw her too early, she could still die in the heat panel, but I kind of have a rhythm for it. I know it doesn't look like it, but just like that. Boom, da, boom, da. That was too late. That was good. But like doing this jump setup thing is just the most consistent way to get book across, because if you just kind of like try to throw book, like it rarely works. So you have to kind of like throw book up like this. Pretty inconsistent at it right now, but it's just like that. That was good. Alright, but so this takes some time to master or get like decently consistent at. Come on. I want to show the next part. Okay. So now the issue is that we cannot pick book up right now. Because like what we would want to do in order to get up here as fast as we can is to move both of them at the same time. If we move match up and then we move book up, that's a little bit slow. We could do better than that. The issue though is that we can't pick match up or pick book up with match, because match is on fire, which means that if I'll just do this, if they overlap at all, book will burn. So I'll show what we need to do instead. So what we do instead is we get book up here, or we get match up here. We want to extinguish match as fast as we can, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to hit the ceiling. So if we jump and we hit the ceiling, match's fire goes out, and then we can bring book up and pick up match and have a good time. And the fastest way that I've found in order to do this is to hit match on the ceiling like this, and then land on this platform. Do that again. Okay, you want to land on the platform just like that, but you want to make sure you bop the ceiling so that match extinguishes. If match doesn't extinguish, then you have to jump all the way up and extinguish her on the ceiling. But when we do this, then we switch to match, and then we can pick match up. Then we go up here, then we throw match over here. And then we flick the green switch, and Ice Cube comes up as normal. We still have to bring book down. The reason we have to bring book down is because Ice Cube can't make this jump up here, so we need book to help out. So we're just gonna throw Ice Cube up and then go, and then jump up like this. However, I have noticed though that it is possible to actually just throw jump. However, this is really precise. There's only a few frames to work with, so I haven't really adopted it in speedruns yet. See, that's what happens if you catch Ice Cube too early. And that's what happens if you don't catch Ice Cube. But that is a thing to do. I might adopt that soon, but it only saves like a fraction of a second, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. But that's really it for level 44. Just got to work on this this heat gate stuff. What do I call this? Heat panels. Just got to work on the heat panels. On to level 45. Level 45 is complicated, as in there's like many different routes you can take. Like, should you start with a book? Should you start with match? Should you start with Ice Cube? Who do you do after that? And what is the most optimal way to do the level? So the way that I've figured out that is best, actually looks like this. Well, I mean, obviously there's the IL one, but it actually kind of looks like this. And you wait here. Wait, hold up. I forgot this one actually. This is new. I just found this. It was after I got my 1048, so I did not do this in my world record. Crap. I want to show this off. So we're starting with match. We have to wait here. But then we switch to book next. Go through these first two, jump over the last one. Then we switch to Ice Cube. Am I doing this right? I feel like I'm not doing this right. I don't know. It's still in production. Maybe it's like not exactly right yet. But the strategy I used in my world record, I know that one works, is we start at the beginning by buffering space, like this, and then we switch immediately to match as soon as book jumps, just like this. That saves a little bit of time later. So then we bring match through, jump over like this, then we go to Ice Cube, and then we go to book. We walk through the first two, and then jump over the last one. Do it again. The reason we make book jump up at the start is because that saves a little bit of time later. If we didn't make book jump up, we'd have to take a little bit slower, and we'd have to stall at this first gate instead of the second one. I'll just show what that looks like, actually. So I immediately switch to match. I go up here, then ice cube. Uh-oh. That ice cube jump is really hard, by the way. It's a lot more precise than it looks, but you just have to practice it. Especially, like, at the end of your run. Oh yeah, that's something to talk about, too. Like, we're at, like, the end of the run now, and nerves are gonna start being an issue. So nerves are just something you have to control. That ice cube jump is hard. It's also worth noting that it's actually slower to just bring match up like this. The fastest way is to make ice cube. Fastest way is to make match bump on the ceiling first and then jump up like that. So like that's slow. That's fast. The spike jump is hard. But yeah, so we're gonna bring match over, then we switch to ice cube, then we switch to book. Come on. That was so bad. Come on, one more time. Okay, then we switch to ice cube, then we switch to book. Don't do anything stupid, but we have to wait here, which is a little bit slower than waiting on the second one. I'll go over what the most optimal strat is. So we buffer the jump, get book up there first, then match. Alright, bring ice cube over. I know I don't look like a speedrunner right now. This jump is so hard. Come on, bro. I'm a little bit rusty. I didn't practice. I never practice before I do these. I just kind of pull out OBS and start recording. Come on, bro. Anyway, I hope your day is doing well while I suffer on this level. There we go. And that's the most optimal strat. That isn't something that you can do that's something like IL specific. The IL strat is a little bit faster, but it's kind of precise. There's a lot of precise jumps, and it's just not ready for RTA yet, so I don't do it. Let's move on to level 46. So the fastest strat for level 46, the level might seem complicated, like who do I start with? It's kind of like level 45, except everybody has the same obstacle. The fastest way that I've found to do this is we're going to start with book and just pick up ice cube, right? And then spike will already be up, so we can just run across and throw jump like this. And then we're going to switch to match, and then by now the spike will be coming back down and we'll jump over the spike with match. And then we'll just juggle the two to the end like that. That's the fastest way to do the level. Well, it's not the fastest way to do the level, but it's the fastest, easiest method. Fastest, easy method. Like the fastest method you can do without stopping at all. And everybody's always moving, but it's really hard. But this is the fastest way that's like not hard. So this is what it looks like in a run. Just like that. Easy. Oh, that was nasty. On level 47. So this one might be really hard for me right now because level 47 is really laggy, especially when I'm look at this. Oh, this is gonna suck. But this is just because this is why I record using my camera. This is why I record runs using my camera, because this level is completely impossible if I'm recording my screen. But it's for the viewers, it's for the content, so I'm gonna go through it anyway. So at the very start, normally what we do is we'd start with book and match, and we just go like this. However, we're leaving ice cube behind, right? So what we're gonna do is this is a new strategy that's been recently adopted by me and Ant, is we're gonna start by coming over here and then juggling these two. We're gonna pick up Ice Cube, throw, catch, match. It's gonna look like this. Now that was a lot of things, but I'll go through it slowly. The lag will help me go through it slowly. So we're gonna have Book come over here, pick up Ice Cube, then turn around, throw her, and catch match. Then we're gonna come all the way under this lip, so that matches like here. Then we're gonna throw match and catch Ice Cube. Match should land here, I think. Then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna throw Ice Cube and catch match here. So then, now Ice Cube is way over here instead of all the way back here, which is so much faster, even though we have to waste a little bit of time coming back and then doing the juggle. This saves a whole lot of time. So then the next part is we're going to do throw jump. Just make sure you catch match. Throw jump catch, and then throw jump catch here as well. This is hard with lag, but I'm trying my best. Throw jump catch. So let me go through it all again. Throw, catch. Catch, throw, catch, throw, catch, throw, catch. Throw jump. The cycle lines up. Then we're gonna drop match here, so that when we flick the book with, or flick the switch with book, we don't have to like do any fancy stuff when we get match back up here. And then we're gonna go into this part where we throw jump, catch, throw jump like this. We land right on here, and then throw jump like this. Make sure you have enough distance when you throw jump here. Just like that. Do it one more time. And just like that. We're done with them. So, by the way, the reason we start with book and match is so that we're able to jump off of the spring. If we started with Ice Cube, we're going to do the strat where we... I'll come back over here. Gonna do the strat where we flick this blue switch early, and that if we do that, then the switch, or this trampoline, gets covered, which makes it impossible for these two to bounce, which makes it a little bit slower to traverse this ending here. This lag sucks. Oh, I'm gonna stop complaining about the lag. You know it's bad. And if we could, by the way, the fastest strat would be to move all three characters all the way across at the same time. But that is not gonna be feasible because Ice Cube is weird because like she's like heavy. She doesn't jump very high, but she's like fast, and she also can't carry anybody. It's just gonna be completely impossible. It's hard enough to manage two characters at once, let alone three. But moving on, we're gonna talk about Ice Cube now. So we're gonna move Ice Cube across like this onto this platform. I believe this spike should normally line up for us to get across just fine. So something I've been concerned about is whether or not it's faster here to jump over this backwards conveyor here, or just run across it. As far as I'm aware, it's probably faster to just run across the conveyor. This spike is so crazy. It's faster to just do this than it is to do anything else. Than it is to do something like this where you jump over. I mean, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to say. Normally this switch will already be switched in our favor, but I'm going to switch it back. So then we jump onto here. And now we're going to do this thing where we jump onto this trampoline here. We turn around, and then we land on the switch. We need the switch to be flipped so that the opening is, or that the ending of the level is open for us. So this trick is hard. It's gonna be insanely hard with lag, but what you want to do is you want to minimize the time you're, like, if I'm like doing this, you want to minimize the time you're not pressing the arrow keys, because anytime you're not pressing the arrow keys is a time where you slow down and you could risk hitting these spikes. So like when you turn around, normally, yes, you slow down, but you want to minimize the time you're turning around. And you do that by, remember how in a previous episode, or a previous installment of the series, I talked about how the left key has priority over the right key? So that if you're pressing two keys at once, I'll go in this little divot here. If you're pressing 2 keys at once, left will always have priority, no matter like which key you start with. But left key will always have priority. We can use that to our advantage here. We'll be holding right, and then what we can do is we could just press left, and even if we're holding both keys at the same time, we'll turn around and we'll come around here. And what that does is it minimizes the amount of time that we're staying still for. Because if we go like right, then let go of right, and then press left, obviously for a short amount of time we're not moving. So here's what I like to do. So I like to hold right and then press left like that. This is a hard strat to do just in general, but the fastest way to do it is as I just demonstrated. It's not the fastest. I mean, it's all the same speed, but it's the easiest in my opinion. And that's what happens if you stall for too long, or if you hit the spring too far to the right. That is what happens if you turn around too early. So ridiculous. By the way, remember, you wouldn't normally start with ice cube, we'd start with book or match. Book and match. So then when we're here, we turn this around, jump over here. Normally you'd make that jump for the fastest strat possible. If you don't, you lose a few seconds. And then you jump across like this. And then you do a thing here. I'll show what that looks like with everybody. So remember, you're gonna do this juggle at the start. Grab match, grab, or jump, throw jump. Drop match here. Switch. Throw jump, catch, throw jump, catch. Throw jump, switch to ice cube. We're gonna do this trick. Jump, jump. And then when we're here, we are ready to start the last part of this level. It's a long, annoying level. But real quick, before, this is something I forgot to mention. When you switch to ice cube after finishing all this, do not make sure that match is not adjacent with this wall here. Do not put match here. Like if you like do this and you're gonna switch to ice cube and you're like, oh crap, match is right here. Move her out of the way, and I'll show you what happens. This might be a little bit challenging because I already flicked the switch. I'm gonna have to restart the level. The reason I say that though is if match is adjacent to that wall, when Ice Cube flicks the blue switch, match will die. I don't know why that happens. It's very strange, but watch. I'm going to put match adjacent to the wall. Let's bring Ice Cube over. Flick the switch and watch. See, match died. Why does that happen? That's so strange, but I mean that's just the way the level is. Alright, let's get this level over with. Same old strats, drop match here, flick the switch, throw jump. That was too early. That was not too early. Make sure you don't jump too early or else you'll hit the spike. Okay, we're gonna switch to match, or yep, switch to Ice Cube. Jump up here, flick the switch, jump across, then jump up here. Now we're going to switch to match, and we're going to throw both Ice Cube and Book up to here. The easiest way to do it is to throw jump first, and then throw them over like this. Like, that's easy. There's no risk of them hitting the spike that way if you do it right. But Ant does that. I don't know why he does it, because it's kind of slow. I just like to throw them over like that. It's a little bit more precise, but it's a little bit faster. I mean, it's still not that hard. Do that with both of them. Then I switch to Ice Cube, move her over, switch to Book, turn her around, switch to match, jump, double Z, and I pick her up with Book, just like that. And I'll do that one more time with everybody at full speed. Throw Book over, throw Ice Cube over, switch to Ice Cube, switch to Book, turn her around. That was a complete disaster. I'm gonna try that again. So I'm gonna throw Book over, throw Ice Cube over, switch to Ice Cube, switch to Book, turn her around, match, and catch like that. And that's it at full speed. On a level 48. Level 48, normally you have to like go all the way over here, but level 48 is actually the quickest level in the entire run, if you do it right. And the reason I say that is because it could just look like that, and you finish the level. Easy. So let me break this down for you. So what we're doing is we're jumping with Book first, And then we're catching match like this. And the reason we're jumping and catching match instead of just jumping like this is because we need some more vertical height. Remember, if we're not carrying anybody, we jump higher because that's just how weight works. So we jump first, pick up match, and at the apex of our jump, we throw match. And then after we throw match, we switch to match, and then we pick up ice cube. So here's what that looks like. That was too far to the right. Normally you'd be more like this. Come on. Just like that. This does take some time to get used to. It's important to keep in mind, I remember when I first started out, I would rush this out, I would like try to blitz out all the movements, and it would end up, what did I just do? But it would not normally work out. Wait, I want to try that again. What was it, 48? Like, I'd try to like blitz out all the movements, and it would end up like not really working out. I don't know how it's doing that, but like, you don't want to go too fast or else it'll never work. You want to take your time. You want to make sure when you jump, you throw match at the very apex of your jump. That's the most important thing because you need the height. It's like when Book is right at her apex, I throw, kind of just like that. But it just takes some time to get used to. It's really fast motion, especially when you first spawn into the level. I screw it up all the time. I usually have to like restart and take multiple tries to do it. I mean, if you really want to be consistent with it, you can do the slightly slower strat, which is to pick up match first, and then throw jump like this, and then do all the motions. You get more height that way, but it's a little bit slower and it's also more inputs. I believe if you do that, it's 7 inputs in total in like a second. And by the way, when you finish all this, you'll have to turn around so that ice cube fits in the door. I mean, you don't have to, but if you just kind of sit here, it'll be kind of inconsistent whether or not you are in the door or not. So just turn around to be safe. So here's the faster strat. And here's the slower strat. You can pick which one you like. I like the first one because it's a little bit faster, but it's up to you. Let's move on to level 49. Let me close out this ad. I can't, never mind. Alright, level 49. So scaling this is the most technically difficult part of the level, but I will break it down for you. So when we first start out, we're Book, and we're just going to hold right and pick up match like this. Normally I say like, oh, you want to switch to match first and then pick Book up. But that strategy doesn't really work with match because match is a slimmer hitbox. And I say this because match is on the right side this time. Book is actually on the left side, which is very unusual. But no, just pick up match with Book. Then when we're here, we're gonna jump over this, jump over the heater like this. Then we're gonna jump onto this box. We're gonna buffer the jump onto this box. So we're gonna go over here like this, and we're actually gonna do a throw jump here like this. And go through that again. Throw jump like that. You want to make sure match gets enough distance here so that she does not land in this heater because match is burning now, and that completely kills everything because now you have to like extinguish match and then bring Book up. Which, I mean, I guess isn't too slow, but it's also not fast. So just throw jump like this. Make sure Book lands here. And go over here, pick up match. And now when we're here, we have a couple of options. Crap, that was completely terrible. So when we're here, we can either land on this little ledge and then jump over here. It's completely safe. We won't risk like not having enough distance and landing into the water. And I say that because it foreshadows the other strategy, which risks falling down into the water, but it's faster, and it looks like this, where we throw jump like this and land straight onto these boxes. I do the second one. It's riskier because you can risk not getting enough distance like this, and you fall into the water, and this is really slow. But I risk it. And it usually works out. Then I throw match over, there is a way to avoid the water by doing a grab boost, but I'm not comfortable with it, so I don't do it in runs. So then I walk book in here, and then I switch to Ice Cube. And now Ice Cube kind of takes a similar route, but it's a little different. So we're going to want to jump over this heater, because if we don't, that's what happens. I have to do this whole level again. Gonna jump over the heater. We're gonna land on this little step here. Jump onto the wooden box, jump up here, on here, on here, on here. And now we have a sort of similar option. There's two separate options to getting onto this box over here. There's the first one where we can first land on this ledge and then jump down. Oh my god. This sucks. But at least you can see me. You can see my technique over and over and over again. So you never mess it up. The other strat is where you can jump from here, over the heater, and onto this box. You risk getting burned in the heater, but once again, it's faster than first landing on this little ledge because you have to slow down a little bit if you land on the ledge. I do this. That was terrible. So let me try that again. And you also risk not only getting burned, but also not making it across, but just like that. That's how you do level 49. That's how I do level 49. That's how the IL does level 49. With the little exception of the grab boost here. But yeah, let's move on to level 50. So, level 50 is a pain in the ass. There's a lot of moving parts, as you can see. There's a lot of very precise things going on here. But I'll break down the fastest strategy for you. So, for the first thing we're going to want to do, the fastest thing to start is actually not that. That is what I used to do, and it's really hard. What I used to do is I used to buffer right and then press up to pick up book like this. Well, what I used to do is actually not pick up book at all and just try to make this jump. But there's a better way to do that. It's just, I used to buffer right and just press up when I thought I saw book. But that's really hard to do when you first spawn into the level in an RTA run. So what I like to do first is switch to book and do everything the same. Because book has a much bigger hitbox and it's a lot less precise. So then when we're here, we're going to throw match over. We're going to switch... Let's go one thing at a time. Switch to book, pick up match, throw her across like that. And then what we want to do is match has to wait for the cycle here, so we're going to do a few things. Firstly, we're going to line book up so that the very right edge of her is within these tiles here. So if we jump up onto these tiles, we'll be able to land on them. So that would be like right here. Like this would work. But we want to be kind of on the outside. We don't want to be like for like halfway in like this. This won't work, and I'll show you why later. But like right here, just barely on the left edge of these blocks is perfectly fine. So then we're here. By the way, this is very important to note about this level. I forgot to say this at the start. When you spawn in, this level 22 and 51 are all very unique because you don't start as book. You actually start as match. Just thought I'd mention that. And when you're pressing Z for this cycle here, it's actually reversed as to what it would normally be from levels 42 to 52. But anyway, so after we line book up, we're going to press Z once. We'll switch to Ice Cube, and then we're going to bring Ice Cube over here, and we're going to bring her into where normally book would be able to grab her. So like, book can grab Ice Cube here, book can grab Ice Cube here. As long as you grab Ice Cube close to book, it'll work out fine. And by now, we've burned a little bit of time, and match will probably be able to make this cycle now onto here, or through here. So I'll show you what everything looks like so far. So we're gonna hold right, switch to book, press up, throw her across, line book up, and bring Ice Cube over. You don't have a lot of time with this book thing, but that takes some time. Just practice it. Practice aligning book in the right spot. And once again, I'll show you why you need to be not on the right side of these blocks later. So do this one more time and I'll show you what match does next. So match will go up here. She'll flick the switch and land right here, right? Then we're gonna switch to book. We're gonna pick up Ice Cube, and this is the reason we need book to be on the left side, because if book was further right, Ice Cube's hitbox would actually be in these heaters, and she would melt. Because and if book was actually like further to the right, we have to like do a quick adjustment to line book up to still make the cycle. It's a lot of stuff to think about. I think I actually did have to do that micro adjustment in my 1048, but that's not good. Make sure that doesn't happen. I'll show you what everything looks like again. So then we switch to book, and then we climb up like this, and we throw Ice Cube, and then pick up match, and then we win the level now. Like this, I'll just show this because book is too far to the right. But basically, if I pick up Ice Cube now, she melts. You see that? Because she's too far to the right. Click the switch. Come on. Okay, still made the cycle, which is good. By the way, I'm doing the start of the level wrong. I'm picking up book with match to start, which is wrong. I want to be picking up match with book to start. But once you do all that, you're done with the level. Let's keep going. This video is starting to get really long. Let's see if we can finish the rest of the thing in under an hour. Okay, 51. Normally what you'd have to do here is you have to bring match over here, flick the switch, come back, flick the switch, then come back again, then bring book and Ice Cube over here. We're gonna cut out a lot of that by not having match not having match have to come back. I'll show you. So first we pick up book with match immediately. We don't have to do this like immediately. We can wait a little bit here. We just have to pick her up as soon as we can, like this. Then we're gonna throw book over like this, and then immediately turn around with match. And we're gonna buffer a jump. We're gonna jump with match off of the conveyor, and then we're gonna immediately switch to book, and then just start jumping on this conveyor to stall, so that we don't fly right into this heater here and burn book. And we have to stall because we have to wait for this this spiky block to have a favorable cycle. So I'll start again. I'm gonna go over here, buffer a jump, immediately switch, stall a little bit. Oh, ooh, that was not good. Don't stay in that heater for very long. Flick the switch, move book into the little door. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring match up here. And then when she comes back down, we'll be ready to like pick up Ice Cube and finish the level. But we're gonna make this a little bit faster so that we don't have to, like, when match comes back down, then she has to come to the left and then come to the right to pick up Ice Cube and potentially miss the cycle. So when we switch next to Ice Cube, we're just gonna move Ice Cube over here so that when match falls, Ice Cube will be in a favorable position. Then we switch to Ice Cube, then we go up here, then we switch, and then we're able to just go through on our merry way. So I'll show you what everything looks like again. Throw over, stall a little bit, flick, line up with the door, come over here. And when we do this, we make the cycle pretty easily. But there are a few caveats, and there are some tricks that we still have, just in case things don't go perfectly in our way. So I'll show you. Say, like, when match is coming up here, she bonks a little bit. Oops. Like that. Like, I bonked twice, so I'm not going to be able to make this cycle. I'll have to wait a little bit. Oh, by the way, this is important too. You're actually able to walk on these spikes. You can walk through them, but you can't jump on them. That's just a good thing to note. YouTube music ahead. Let's say, oh crap, I bonked twice. Hold on. If you bonk once, there's still a way you can get through. I'll just show what that looks like. Let's say, oh crap, I'm going slow. You won't be able to just walk under this. Because, like, let's say, like, I go now, oh crap, and I jump, oh no, I hit the spike. If you go a little bit slow, that's going to happen. But there's a thing we can do. You'll see that there's a little gap here between the right of the spike and this little step here. What we could do is we can throw Ice Cube and put Match in this little hidey hole here as this thing comes down. And we can do that so that we can still get through here just fine, but we don't need to jump into this spiky block. Spiky block. I kind of merge the words into block. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So I throw a book over. You have to work on that first jump. That's just practice. Crap, I bonked. So when you do this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna throw Ice Cube through here and then hide in that little hidey hole and then jump up. It's a little bit slower, but it could end up saving like a second or two, not having to wait for this cycle. But yeah, pretty cool. That's it for level 51. On to level 52. This is going to be a pain in the ass to talk about because this thing right here is moving fast, but I'll try to do my best. So, normally what we'd have to do here is we're going to have to like throw the receiver and kill Book, then recover Book, then do the same thing here, and with Ice Cube 2, then we need to recover both of them. And then we do the same thing again. Wait, no, first we need to bring Ice Cube up here, flick the switch, then do this, and then do this. You get the point. There's a lot of deaths, a lot of recoveries needed here. We can avoid every death in this level with this simple trick. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little bridge here, kind of like what we did with level 29 at the start, if you remember. We're going to make a little bridge here. We're going to pick up this end of the HPRC. I'm going to do a throw jump up here. I'm going to throw this across. And then we're actually able to get every character to go through this top route, believe it or not. Like when you first play this level, you can think, oh, only Ice Cube can get up there, of course, right? That's not the case at all. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll get back to the start in a sec. There's a faster way to do the start. But I'm going to show you what this looks like. So starting with Match. Match can get through here if you jump on the second step and you just hold right. You can get up here. And then as long as Book is holding Ice Cube, because Book's jump is a little bit shorter, you can actually just get through here perfectly fine. And just like that, all three characters are taking the top route, which saves an untold amount of time. That saves like 10, maybe even more than that, seconds. It's crazy. So I'll do that one more time. So get Match up like this. We get Book and Ice Cube over like this. Let's go back to the start though, because you notice when I was doing this, I was switching to Match at the start. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But what I was doing is I picked up this, then I have to walk oh crap, that was bad. I have to walk all the way back, and then I go across. A faster way to do this is to actually do a little bit of juggling. So I'd throw this first, I'd throw it over here, and then I'd pick this up, then I'd throw it over here, so that I have to walk less to get to this receiver into the HPRC. The issue with that though is that I can't pick it up because Book's in the way. So what I do at the very start, because I'm Book again, I start with Book now. When I start with Book, I walk her just a little bit to the left, just a little bit to the left at the start. Then I switch to Match. I pick up the receiver end, I throw it. I pick up the crank, I throw that in the right spot. Throw jump, throw jump. Then I do this, and I get across just fine. I'm gonna do that again though. So I walk Book to the left, make some room. Throw the receiver, throw the crank, throw jump, switch to Book, and do the throw jumps, and get across just fine. Remember, 1 throw jump, 2 throw jumps, 3 throw jumps. Just like that. And now, that's the entire beginning of the level done. And now, there's a little bit of a debate now for exactly what to do, but I like to... I'll replay this again, because I have to. So what I like to do is I like to juggle a little bit. So I like to throw ice cube, then pick up match. I'll do that a little bit better. Throw catch, throw catch. Normally I would pick up ice cube there. I really want this to work out. We're on the last level. I want to make this one good. Throw catch, throw catch. Just like that. And now, me and Ant Ladders have been using different strategies the entire time after this strat was first found. Should we throw ice cube over here? Or should we throw match over here? Throwing ice cube is what I do. And it's probably the harder strategy. But I also think that everything works out, everything aligns to make it a little bit faster. But honestly, I'm not sure. Like, I say this because you can either throw ice cube across like this. That was crazy. I've actually never done that before, where I land on this bridge as it's activated. But normally what you do is you have to, like, throw ice cube across and make sure book comes back here. It's very precise. But the other strategy is to throw match across, which is a lot safer because match is a lot lighter, and when you throw her, she goes a lot further. But I noticed that usually when she lands by the switch, she's usually in an unfavorable spot. I'll demonstrate the match one again. Throw catch. So then I have to drop ice cube, pick up match, and throw her just like that. Yep, this turnaround here is very precise. You want to kind of jump towards the end of the conveyor, not all the way on the end, so that you still have time to turn around and land on the conveyor still. But you throw match, you come back, or throw ice cube and come back. It's more precise with ice cube though. And then what you usually have to do is you have to like make match jump up. I'll just show you the ice cube strat because that's what I'm used to. But just note you can also do this with match. I'm sorry this is a little bit scuffed today, but I guess it's nice to just get all the information all the information I have. So remember, doing this with ice cube is harder, but it's still possible. That just takes some time and practice. It's not easy. But then I switch to ice cube, flick the switch, back to book, pick up match, jump and throw match up here. Now they're both on this step. And now we're on to the last section. Not really anything else can go wrong here. Once you make that ice cube jump, that's the hard jump. That's the last hard trick in the entire run, really. The rest is pretty easy. So we're going to flick the switch with book. And then while we're still on this conveyor, we're going to jump and then immediately turn around. So it kind of looks like this. You notice we get a ton of rightward speed because it's taking the speed from this conveyor here. I jump and then I immediately press right, and I can just go all the way over here immediately. So we want to land here, and the reason for that is we're going to do a glitch. We're going to do that glitch where we pass through the wall. But next we switch to match, and up here we're going to do a throw jump throw like that. Do that again. So ice cube lands and up there. And these steps can be a little annoying, but as long as you're holding right, you should be okay. You're going to throw ice cube up, and we're going to go through here. Try to do these steps as fast as you can. And then when we're on this third conveyor step, we're going to switch to ice cube, bring her down. Then we're going to switch to book and pick up match like this. I don't have a lot of time to work with, but you can pick her up so that way when you're still falling, you land down here. I'm going to do this whole thing again. I'm going to throw this, throw this, throw this, switch to book, come up here. Throw catch, throw ice cube across, switch to ice cube. Oh, by the way, you have to make sure that when you have to jump with book to get her off of the conveyor, because if you don't, she'll just zoom off into the oblivion and she'll die. Don't let that happen. So next we're gonna throw match with the conveyor speed. Come over here, jump with book to get the conveyor speed. I did not get it that time. And I think that is because I was holding left for too long and I didn't turn around quickly enough. So when I say turn around, press right as soon as right after you jump, I mean right after, else you lose all your speed. That was good. That was too slow. That was good. That was too slow. But you get the point. I'm gonna do all this. Now I have a little bit more time to talk. I'm gonna switch to Ice Cube here, bring her down. And then this is all about timing. You wanna kind of pick up match, like kind of right here. Kind of like when Book and Match are kind of like standing on the same surface. Even though Book isn't standing, like that's kind of when you want to time this grab. Like that was too early. If you land on that third step, that means you jumped, or you caught Match too early. Like that one was good, because I landed on the very bottom step. Okay, Match is gonna die. But that's really all I have to say here, so I'm gonna do a full run, I'll narrate everything I do, and we'll get started. So we're gonna make room for Match. Throw, throw, throw catch, throw. Switch to Book, throw jump, throw jump, throw jump. Juggle, juggle. Oops, that was a bad juggle. Bring Ice Cube down. Throw, very precise. Switch to Ice Cube. Flip the switch. Throw. Big jump. Throw jump, throw. Throw jump. Well, that wasn't a throw jump, but. And also here, just real quick, remember that left. I forgot, when you press left and right, it defaults to left. You can use that to your advantage here. You don't have to let go of right here, you can just press left. Just like that. And then we pick up Match right in the right spot. And just like that, we beat the game. Move on to level 53, but there's nothing there, so we finish the run. We cannot get over this gap no matter how hard we try. And we are done with the game. Oh, man. Well, I hope this was useful to you. I kind of had to... Like, there's a lot to talk about with these last few levels, so this recording ended up being over an hour. But hopefully what I said is useful to you in some way. Hopefully this whole series that I made was not completely useless. And I hope this helps some people get faster with their speedruns. But that's all of the strategies I use. That's a deep dive into every single level. I believe this, in total, this playlist is like 3 hours. Probably more than 3 hours. Closer to 4 hours? 3.5 hours? It's really long. And I hope it was useful to you. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, peace.